and welcome to episode 16 of the Hughes Musings podcast. My name is John.
And I'm Carol.
And we are the Hugheses, and this is the Hughes Musings podcast.
Woo!
Hi, everyone.
Hello, y'all.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, John.
How are you doing?
I am not sick. I am 100% fine.
Yeah, me too, which you can totally hear from the tone of my voice.
No, I wasn't feeling well, and I'm like almost back. I feel like I'm like 85% back.
Yeah, so I had the flu just before Christmas, I had the flu just after Christmas, my immune system's absolutely shot. You brought a cold in from probably one of the children in the nursery, and now I have a horrific cough, blocked up nose, and I have almost full-blown man flu.
Yeah.
As you can hear from my beautiful tone.
Yeah, no one will be saying to me, oh, John's voice is so beautiful this week. They'll be like, Carol, the sultry sounds.
Yeah, I've got like a really husky thing going on right now. Not totally sure what it is, but when I was on the phone in work, I had Peter, like a customer saying to me, oh, I hope you feel better soon. And I hadn't really mentioned the fact I was ill. I was like, thanks.
You could just have a nasally voice.
No, they were like, oh, you sound really ill. I was like, yeah, cheers, thanks.
Oh.
Those people that can't even see me, literally just speaking to me. I was coughing and sneezing and wheezing and everything so much the other day in work that, all the customers were like, oh, I hope you feel better soon. It was good, though. Kind of disarmed a lot of people who, like, phoned up angry. Like, I want to get this done. Oh, are you okay, mate? Yeah, I'm all right, yeah. It kind of disarmed quite a lot, which is good.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. Apart from us quite obviously being ill, how's your week been, Carol?
I think it's been all right.
You think it's been all right?
Well, so we done the podcast like early last week. We done it like the Sunday rather than the Tuesday. Normally we do it on a Tuesday.
Yeah. So it's been about a week and a bit because we're a bit late on this one.
Yeah, so last week I really wasn't well. Like,
No.
I phoned in sick and everything.
Yeah, which is rare
Like,
for you. Like,
that's
you really...
how bad it was.
Yeah.
So I was just miserable.
Yeah.
I had just no energy. I had like weird pain in my... What's that bit called there? Like the base of my head?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so it wasn't well. So last week was a bit of a blur of like getting through it and painkillers and sleeping. And then the weekend was really good. We had one of our nephews stay over.
Yeah.
That was really exciting.
I had a sleepover weekend, which was great.
Yeah, so John was at work on Saturday, so I went round to my mum's because she had one of my other nephews. So my mum, my dad, me and my two nephews all hung out. We went to a painting place called Cafe Ceramico or something like that. So we went to a little painting place.
Yep.
In East Kilbride, and at first it's mainly for me. Like, I wanted to go, and there's a little soft play there, so that's what the youngest Matthew was going to do, and the eldest we were going to leave up to him whether he wanted to paint or wanted to go play soft play. So when he first came in, he was like, I want a cake. This is a cafe, I want a cake. So like, let's do painting first. So the youngest one went away straight in the soft play, loved it, was like jumping in at the ball pool, and it's free to use if you're like eating at the cafe or painting, because the painting is so expensive.
Yeah,
like,
I remember you telling me when you...
I done a coaster and it was on offer for £6.
What, for a coaster that you painted yourself?
Yeah, so a blank ceramic coaster. But included in that is like the studio costs, the cost of the paint, and the actual coaster.
Yeah.
So like, you don't get charged for paint or charged for using your studio.
I guess so.
Which other places do. They'll be like, oh, it's like so much for half an hour or so much for an hour. Whereas there you can sit as long as you want.
Right.
And it's kind of all included in the one price.
I was going to say, have you got obligation to buy at the end?
If you paint it, you buy it, yeah.
Right, I see. So it's not like you can just sit there and paint and then leave.
No.
No, okay.
No, you paint it, you buy it. So I picked a coaster because I wanted something cheap. I originally wanted to do a plate, but it was £16. And I thought, I don't really want this plate.
Yeah, where would you put it?
It would be for posh biscuits or something,
yeah.
you know, it wouldn't be like a plate.
Sure.
So I done a coaster, and my dad done a coaster as well, and then Samuel picked a dog. So this dog was about, I don't know, 6 inches big?
I don't know, you're measuring a bit more than 6.
Sorry, this much?
Something like that, yeah.
And it was £16.
Right.
And he wasn't really that into it. You know? So it was like a bad idea.
I know, but he gets these ideas in his head.
I know. So anyway, he painted that and then he went to play. And it was really funny because he was sitting next to me painting and his little brother was playing and his little brother was in the soft play. And there was like 4 or 5 girls there and Matthew. And they were all running away from him. They were like, ah, boy, run away! And he was like, ah, chasing them.
Yeah.
And Sammy's like, why are they running away from Matthew? Like getting all pure, what are they doing to my wee brother? Like,
yeah.
getting pure protective.
Sure.
It was so cute. I was like, oh, they're just playing just because he's the only boy. And he's like, well, I'm going to go play too. And then he went away and like played with them. It was really cute.
Yeah.
I definitely see.
He is very protective over
Yeah.
his little brother. Yeah,
Although
definitely.
he's like, I can beat him up, but no one else can.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got that kind of attitude.
That's what brothers do.
And I just see Samuel maturing so much.
Yeah.
Like, I was just amazed at how, like, I don't know, just, he's so grown up. He's 7. Like, you know, he's not a baby by any means.
No.
It's just nice to see him coming into his own wee person.
Absolutely. Like, we had him then for the weekend.
Yeah.
And
so we came to pick up you.
Yeah.
And then we watched a movie and...
Yeah, that night, literally, we just... Because I finished work at 6:30, so...
Yeah, by the time we got you and got home, it was like
all
7.
we did was... Yeah. Did we have dinner? No. Had he already had dinner?
Yeah, he had dinner at my mum's because I knew
right.
it was going to be so late for him
Yeah.
to eat.
That's right. So we had food. He had a bath.
Yeah, I gave him a bath.
And then straight to bed, pretty much. We watched a film. We watched Wall-E.
Yeah.
Which is just awesome. It's great. I love that film. Can't believe how old that is. 2008, 2009?
I don't know, but I remember I was working in Playcare when it happened.
Yeah. Like, it's 10 years old. Over 10 years old.
Yeah.
Which is mad.
Mad.
But yeah, so we watched that. That was brilliant. And then went to bed.
Yeah.
But he was really good. He didn't sort of complain or moan or... You know, he wasn't acting up. He didn't, you know... He was just really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, I gave him a bath. Like, he's 7. He done everything himself. Like,
Yeah, he just made sure that he didn't fall over and make sure that he had a bit of a laugh.
yeah. I just ran the water, make sure it wasn't too hot.
Yeah.
And I gave him some, like, a spray bottle and a bowl and a jug to kind of play with.
Yeah.
And he had his wee figures.
Yeah.
Went in a fit. I gave him a bath bomb.
Yeah.
We had a blast. And then went to bed. Like, no issues. No moaning. No 5 more minutes. No nothing. No, like, stories or anything. You know, it was just a go to bed, okay?
That was just it, yeah. He just ran through his processes and he was quite happy to do that. Yeah. He was really good. And then the next day, we went out to the cinema.
We did.
And he was really good. Apart from when we had to go on a big walk.
Yeah. But I mean, I get that. So we got the train into Glasgow. So he loved that. He loved going on the train. It's exciting in itself. And then we'd done like, it was like a half-hour walk, I would say.
Must have been. We kind of went the wrong way round, so it was a bit longer than it needed to be as well.
Yeah, we just like kind of followed Google Maps.
Which was a bad idea, because Google Maps was wrong.
But it's the only thing we had, you know?
Yeah, at that point, we've never done that walk from the central train station to the cinema there.
Yeah, so the key, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that was a really nice cinema.
Really good. Really enjoyed it.
It's a Lux, which is my usual standard.
Yeah, yeah. Don't do anything but Lux now, darling.
No. And we got some snacks. We got some lunch. Took it in. Watched the film.
But through all that, he wasn't nagging. He wasn't moaning. He was just...
I feel like he really enjoys just hanging out with us. Like, just him.
Yeah.
Like, all the... not the attention, because I don't feel like we...
No, we don't lavish him with attention. We just hang out with him, but I think he enjoys the fact that it is just us. It's a bit quieter.
And we're not his parents. You know? Like, I think that was quite nice.
Yeah.
And then we came home, had dinner, and then he got picked up.
And then he came and got picked up. And just all in all, it was just a really lovely night. And like you said, you can see how much he's maturing now.
Yeah.
Like how he's got his own ideas about things now.
But he's still got his like silly songs that he sings and his mad moments where he runs about and does daft things.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's just I can see him being such a nice, well-rounded little boy, and you know, just love him. And it's good to see.
Yeah. Speaking of little boys, I guess we can talk about it now.
Woo! Woo!
because it's been officially announced.
Yeah, it's on Facebook, so it's official.
Yeah, so one of my best friends in the world of ever, and her amazing husband are having a baby.
The announces wee baby
A
boy.
little baby boy. And I am incredibly honoured because this morning they asked me if I'd be the godfather.
The Godfather.
Exactly. I'm going to be like, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. All that sort of stuff. It's amazing. And that is one moment where me not being very well certainly helped with an impression of
Yeah,
something.
that sounded
Thank you very much.
on.
That was a good Brando. I'll never get one as good as that. I'm not trying again. But yeah, so yeah, they've asked me to be the godfather, which is just such an honour. And I've been absolutely buzzing about it all day.
Yeah. So I think this makes me the godmother-in-law.
Yeah, sure, because anything I do, you're going to be around as well by proxy.
Definitely.
Definitely. Carol's buzzing too.
Yeah.
So
I'm just so happy for them.
Me too. Yeah, they got married last year in July, didn't they?
Yeah, and they've just moved into their house.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know, it's turning into that fairy tale happily ever after for them, isn't it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just got married, just about to have the first child, just moved into a nice big place and just really, you know, building that amazing, like, fairy tale life together. So,
Congratulations.
Couldn't even ask for a better godfather, that child. He's just so lucky.
And annoying godmother-in-law.
Yeah. So, yeah, which is all amazing. What have I done this week, apart from be ill, go to work a bit, be feeling ill?
You went to play some golf?
I did. So this week, me and Robbie, of Robbie and Laura Stardom, went to play golf. So this is the first time like me and Robbie have just hung out, just me and him.
Just the two of you, your first little man date?
Yeah, first little man date. As we said last week on the podcast, we exchanged numbers and sorted out a man date, and we went, and it was good. It was great. It was good fun. Just went and knocked a few balls out, and I could tell that I hadn't played in a while. I was a bit out of practice and a bit sore because I haven't played for a bit. And, you know, yeah, Robbie enjoyed himself, sort of gave him some tips, and he was getting the swing there by the end of it. So, you know, a few more visits. And
Getting into the swing of it.
we'll be there. Whee! Gotta love a bit of punnery.
Hey!
So, yeah, hopefully, you know, a few more visits to the driving range, and then we'll be out on the course and... You know, we'll be playing a bit more often. I hope.
As the nicer weather comes as well.
That's it. So that's why I'm thinking if we go to the range a bit now, then that'll get us ready for courses for the start of summer.
Sure is exciting.
Yeah, because like our other mate Graham, he likes to come as well. So you know, if we could all get to sort of like at least knocking it around. You know, a course badly sort of stage.
Yeah.
By the summer, we'll have a great time.
Yeah.
There's loads of courses around here. Like, we live in South Lanarkshire where there is an abundance of courses.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them aren't that expensive here.
No. Yeah.
Like, even the more expensive ones you can find relatively cheap deals on. So, buzzing about that. That's going to be good. And it's a bit of a walk and it's a bit of exercise. I know it doesn't sound like much, but getting around a golf course, you know, is a good old stroll. So yeah, that's really, really good. And I have lost 3.5 pounds this week on my new diet and my beginning of shifting weights to shift weights, but the sickness kind of got in the way of that. But I have lost a bit of weight, and that has been mainly due to diet. So that kind of slots nicely into our next section, which is... Oh, I want you to tell me, mate. Oh, can't you tell me? Why can't you tell me? What's on your plate? What's on your flumping plate? So yeah, Carol, what has been on our plate?
I'm trying to think if I feel like this week has been a bit of like freestyling it.
Well, that's it. We've not made like so. What we usually do is
pick a recipe, follow it,
bulk cook, set out our meals for the week, and do it that way. But because I've changed the way I'm eating at the moment, and Carol is an amazing supportive wife.
Woo-woo!
We've been kind of following the same diet plan. So I'm cutting out like heavy, starchy fibre and carbohydrates. So I'm cutting out my pasta, my rice, my bread.
And potatoes.
So we've been living mainly off like meat and veg. But
pulses.
Well, that's what I want to talk about for What's on Your Plate this week. So
What's on your plate?
We've been experimenting with things like pulses, lentils, beans, chickpeas.
So what's been your favourite meal of this week?
So, yeah, this is what I want to talk about for What's on Your Plate. So, I made, like, a spelt and chickpea curry.
I was going to say that was my favourite this week.
It just worked so well.
Yeah, I loved it.
And it was so easy. I didn't really add any of the fluid there. So, I used the fluid from the spelt, from the chickpeas, threw it all into a pot, cooked it up, added some herbs, added some spices, added some flavour there. And it just worked so well. And what I'm going to try and do is, because I totally didn't plan it out, totally didn't make a recipe, just kind of went for it, free form. I'm going to try it again and see if I can hone a recipe for it. And then when I hone a recipe for it, I'll put it on the website. So what is the juice called in the chickpeas?
Aquafaba.
Yeah. Right, okay. And that's like the gooey sort of juice that you get around. It's called
the viscous water.
Yeah. Good word for it.
So it's the water that the chickpeas have been cooked in, and it is quite. The properties of it are very similar to egg whites. So it's like a vegan replacement for egg whites. If you're like coating things or making like meringues or anything where you would need egg whites. Right. That is a replacement for it.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Does that add like a flavour then?
No, it's about the property, the texture.
Yeah, I get that. But obviously with chickpeas, like you get a certain chickpea flavour. It'd be interesting to see, like if they have to sort of balance that out against anything.
Yeah. I
have quite a few vegan friends. I might just
ask them.
Drop them a message and be like, do you use this? And if you do you have to like cancel the flavour out on it? But yeah, so that's been what's on our plate this week.
Yum,
so I would normally do the little what's on your plate voice, but I can't do it properly because.
And you've pre-recorded the little jingle, so you're covered.
Yeah.
What's on your flumping plate?
Yeah. So moving very swiftly on, Carol, I'm going to ask you for a quick one. Have you got a joke for us this week?
I sure do.
Hit me.
Well, I like the way you say it better. Okay, so what does a farmer say when he can't find his tractor?
Do you want me to say it?
Yeah.
Where's my tractor? And yet again, I think the voice helped.
Yeah.
Because it made me sound more husky in West Country. Where's my bloody tractor?
Oh, I love that joke. It's so funny because it's like, obviously that's what he's going to say.
But yeah, it's just with the accent, it's just makes it.
And the fact that it's supposed to be a joke. I remember that I was told this joke to someone, they were like, don't get it. And I was like, oh, what would you say if you can't find your phone? Like, oh, where's my phone? I'm like, exactly! They're like, nah, don't get it.
Some people just don't get that kind of humour.
Just don't
that
get the
kind
humour,
of.
though. Where's me crap?
I don't know. Is there a word for that kind of humour? I don't know. There probably
silly
is.
humour, stupid humour.
No, there must
obvious
be like
humour.
No, there's got to be like a word for the kind of trigger humour that is. Yeah. English language has a word for fucking everything. If anybody knows, just send me a message and let me know of what is the word for that English language device that is making something funny out of the obvious.
Next is our viral video.
This entire podcast is a viral podcast.
Huh?
Because we're so sick.
I thought you meant we were going to go viral there. I was like, oh, what are we talking about?
Well, we're trying. We are trying, guys. Get sharing.
Sharing's caring.
Yeah. So what is our video this week, Carol?
You have picked it this week.
is one of my favourite videos, and I'll explain why at the end. Because most people love it for one reason, which is the kind of the reason I love it, but I'll explain it at the end. But it's the boop boop video.
Boop boop.
Boop boop.
Yes, thank you to you as well, thank you, arsehole. You can fucking look, piss off. Move your fucking arse. Twat. Careful. You shouldn't have fucking bastard. Get my fucking tits to the do. Where's my hand? I thought my hand was going to be broken. I would have punched him in the face. Come on, I'll tell you that now. Beep, 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 beep. No, fucking beep, beep. Oh, fucking beep, beep. It's no his way to go. Go for it. Hey. Which way are you fucking going next time? Keep your eyes open, bastard.
I'm actually crying with laughter.
What are you laughing for? I don't think it's funny. It's not funny.
It's the way you went. Fucking boo-boo.
Where is the thing here? I was there. I can see you away. What?
Oh.
Fucking beep beep.
I love that video so much. And most people will love it just for the dad, the older man, like shouting.
Well, I think it's the guy laughing, isn't it?
It's the bit is the fact that he's laughing so hard, and in between the laugh he just gets out fucking boop boop. I just love it so much because me and my dad in the car are very similar, and he rants off and I just piss myself laughing at him, and it's very reminiscent of like me hanging out with my dad, and it's just so funny because like if anybody hasn't seen the video, right, so the dad's on, like, son's driving, dad's in the passenger seat, and it looks like a bus has cut them off at a junction or something, or like pulled out like just in front of them and stopped in the way there. And then, so he's ranting off about this bus, and like his son is just wetting himself laughing the entire time. And then, you can hear it. And like I said, just the son going fucking boop, boop at the end is just the best. I love that video. Go and check it out. I watch it periodically because it pops up every now and again on some sort of social media. Yeah, it always does. Like once every sort of like couple of years or something, that'll crop up again. And it's just beautiful. It's just a wonderful video.
Yeah. Cute.
So that was our viral video of
it's
this
the
week.
Carol Murray Meerix. Wicca.
Oh, yeah, right. So the Carol Murray Meerix for this week. I won't sort out a jingle as long as you keep going wicca wicca.
Wicca.
Right, okay. So this isn't necessarily a Meerix. This is more of just like a misheard lyric, or like you've half listened to a song and thought it does that, so you just keep singing it. So it's kind of a Meerix, but kind of not.
Okay.
And it's the Cheap Thrills At Home Tonight situation. So for a really long time, Carol wondered why the song Cheap Thrills was called Cheap Thrills. Because you just couldn't work out why it was called that.
So what are the actual words?
Oh God, I'm going to try and sing it. So, and it goes, "Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight." And you used to think it went at home tonight. Oh no, sorry, have fun tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Have fun tonight. Yeah, when it's I love Cheap Thrills. And
have fun tonight.
And for ages you were like, why is it called Cheap Thrills? It doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah. No, but they were having fun.
Have fun tonight, which would work. Which
have fun tonight. Have fun tonight. Just repeating the words.
Absolutely. So it's not a full-on Meerix because, unlike most Meerixes, It's almost logical.
Oh.
But most remixes
so...
make no sense. It's just something that's happened in your head once. But this one actually has a context and kind of makes sense.
And it is the right words.
But it's not, though.
Yeah, so John was rearranging that song for a girls' cast.
No, it was for, it was for a smaller group casting. It was for me, Sean and Holly. It was when we put the medley together. Cheap Thrills.
I thought the first time was when it was Swing from Chandelier.
No.
With Amanda.
No. We didn't do Cheap Thrills.
You did?
Did we?
Uh-huh. Right at the end. Oh, no, that was Elastic Heart.
No, I was going to say, no, we didn't.
All right,
no.
Sorry, yeah.
So, yeah, it was with Sean and Holly, and we did it as a little group thing. We did it as a little medley with that Ed Sheeran one. Shape of You.
Okay. Well, yeah. So John was trying to learn the words, and I was singing it all the time, and he was like, "This doesn't make sense. I don't think that's the right words." And that's when we realised. So it was like a wee while after, quite a while after.
Yeah, because I knew the song, but it wasn't really on my radar. It wasn't like I listened to it or anything, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I don't get it either." And then as soon as I looked at the lyrics, I was like, "Oh right, yeah, of course."
So I'd been saying it wrong in his ear for months.
Yeah, and that was like
have fun tonight.
90% of the time that I heard it.
I feel like I've improved the song.
I feel like you should have been the producer and been there and be like, why call it Cheap Thrills? Call it Have Fun Tonight.
Have fun tonight.
Makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. So it's not full blown me Ricks, but I feel like it deserved an honourable mention within the me Ricks category.
Wicka wicka.
Oh, down.
Okay, would you rather have the ability to end world hunger or create world peace?
End world hunger.
Why is that?
Okay, this is a little bit controversial because I'm going to come off as a bit of a douche. But
Standard.
But yeah, I guess in some ways I am a bit of a belligerent douche. But certain things that the human race have created and strived for have come as a result of human conflict.
Mm.
So the reason that we have a lot of the things in our lives in modern home comforts and transportation and world travel and all sorts of things that we're able to do these days has come from the technological advancement of conflict, and that goes throughout history. And most of the time, the more technologically advanced are the ones that win the conflict, that then forward the human race. So I begrudgingly would say that I'd rather end world hunger, because that doesn't have a positive outcome in any way. People starving and dying. There's no
controlling population.
War controls population. Bit of Darwinism there, survival of the fittest and all that. But yeah, so yeah, but maybe controversially, I don't know, maybe not.
I mean, they're both horrible things.
Yeah,
children die in war.
Yeah,
and they do from starving as well.
Sure.
You know?
All I'm saying is that there is some positive outcome from human conflict. I'm not saying that conflict is the correct way to do things. I'm just saying we are where we are. If you look historically, there's no denying it. I'm not saying run outside and punch somebody in the face. It's going to turn you into the next Steve Jobs. I'm just saying, a lot of the advancement that we've had has come from times of necessity. And necessity has been...
Yeah, if you think about what you hear about the women in World War II, the advancements they made within a role of a woman, that they worked factories and became engineers and all sorts of things while the men were away fighting. Like, the women ran this country.
Yeah. I mean, look at the sort of social revolutions of, like, the 60s and 70s. They wouldn't have happened had it not been for the fact that women had essentially run the country.
Yeah.
While most of the men were away at war. And refused to just go back into the home.
Yeah.
When all the men came back, all the survivors
wanted their jobs back. They were like, nah.
That was it.
It's mine now.
Exactly. That was it. And I mean, it was a big social revolution.
Yeah.
The children of that generation, the baby boomers, they were the ones who went, no. Like, so, you know, it was that sort of striving that sort of had massive impacts on social economics and equality, racial equality, gender equality, technological advancement. Like I said, war's not a good thing. But at the same time, there have been positive outcomes.
Yeah.
I can't often think of any positive outcomes that come from people starving to death.
No. Do you know, I seen a thing online today, and it was from Australia, and it was a grandmother, and she was doing a thing with her grandchildren, and it was a photo, and on one side was a packet of cigarettes,
right,
and on the other side was all the food she bought for the same amount of money.
It's bullshit.
Do you think?
Yeah, I've looked at that picture. The cigarettes cost about £8. There's a packet of meat there that costs £6. You can fuck off.
But it was like dollars or something, and she had the packet was like 50 something, and that food added up to 50. It wasn't in pounds, it was in like Australian money. Because I read into it, like the packet of cigarettes was like $50.56 or something.
Well, okay, so if you're paying $50 for a packet of fags, fuck that. Stop.
Is that what Australians use?
Australian dollars,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So although it's like the meat was $6, like.
Yeah, okay, fair enough then. But yeah, like I looked at it briefly and got annoyed. As a smoker, I was just like, oh, fuck off. I don't care.
Of course.
Yeah, like, okay, fine. But do you know what? If I didn't spend £8 on a packet of cigarettes, I'd spend it on some other useless shit.
I know, but not for us. But for a family struggling where the choice is feeding your family or buying cigarettes, and people make the choice to buy cigarettes.
They don't know. They don't make the choice to buy cigarettes. They buy rolling tobacco, which lasts twice as long, is half the price.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. Yeah, most of them buy rolling tobacco and stuff like that.
Well, anyway, I just thought it was interesting to see the price.
I mean, it's an interesting social commentary, but it's at the same time, it is kind of bullshit. Because people won't buy a packet of cigarettes instead of buying themselves food. They'll fucking buy themselves food, and if they've got enough money left over, they'll buy themselves a packet of fags.
Well, I used to work with a woman who was divorced from her husband, and I asked her why, and she wasn't from this country. So when she lived in her home country, she said that they had a young child, and she didn't work, and her husband worked here and there, and he was addicted to smoking cigarettes, and he came home with no money from being out all day, and she said, "Where's your money?" And he said, "Oh, I bought cigarettes." And she's like, "Our son is hungry, you need to go and buy him food." And he said, "No, I've got no money." And she managed to get some money together to buy a loaf of bread, and then a few days later he went out again, and she said, "Did you bring home bread?" And he said, "No, I've got cigarettes." And she was like, "Get out, I never want to see you again." Obviously that's a died down version of their story, but they had divorced over the fact that he brought cigarettes instead of bread for their son.
Yeah, that guy's a fucking idiot then.
Yeah. So people do it, like, in...
Yeah, but I mean, like, surely that's like a tiny minority of people. I know for a fact, right, okay, so I'm a smoker, and I know for a fact if we were really hard up, babe, and it was a choice between making sure we could feed ourselves and me buying a packet of cigarettes, we'd go and get some fucking food.
Yeah.
Like, so that's not a social thing of like, oh, every single smoker would go out and...
But not just about smoking. Like, see if they had a coffee and a cake sat there
Yeah.
Like a Starbucks coffee and cake.
Yeah.
That's probably like £6,
Yeah.
£7,
Yeah.
and all the food you can buy from it. Like, yeah, it's cigarettes, but I think it also showed like how you can buy food so cheaply.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely discovered that, and we've changed our buying habits since we've come back. So, like, we lived abroad for a lot of years, and we earned pretty well between the two of us. Considering we had
earn what we earn now, pretty much.
Yeah, but we had no overheads. We had
Nope.
nothing to pay for.
Nope.
And we lived a life of luxury without really, I don't think, appreciating
Didn't realise how good we had it.
What kind of luxury we had at the time, but we could, like, and there was be times when we got to the end of the month and we'd be a bit skin. And now I look back at it, I'm like, how on earth did we do that?
Yeah, where did that money go?
And but now, like, we earn a similar wage, but like when we first came back to the UK, we've had to change our lifestyle habits a bit, and definitely our shopping habits, because we used to just go and do everything in one shop at one time, and we'd go for the kind of food that we liked, and it didn't really matter to us how much it cost, and that was our weekly shop.
Yeah.
And sometimes, because we didn't really care how much we paid for certain things, we just wanted to get the things we liked.
And convenience as well.
Yeah, we'd sort of, okay, so maybe we'd do like one big shop every couple of weeks or every 2-3 weeks, but we'd be spending 120, 130 quid
Yeah.
on a shop.
Yeah.
Even now I think back to that and I'm like, that's nuts. But so we've had to do that. We've had to change our shopping habits because we've got a lot of other things now. We have other luxuries in our life that aren't food based.
Yeah.
So now we shop in different places for different things.
Yeah, we spend more time.
We do 2 or 3 shops a week, but that's because we do 2 or 3 shops a month, but we do them in completely different places.
Yeah.
For different things.
Yeah.
So I think we have 2 cheap shops and 1 expensive shop every month, really.
Yeah, because things like toilet paper, laundry, powder, washing stuff.
Yeah, household
meat,
things, yeah.
They are 3 really expensive things.
Yeah.
And meat we will buy. There's only the 2 of us, so we'll freeze half of it or batch cook and freeze some.
Yeah, we do
don't
a
buy
meat shop
every
like
week.
once a month, and like we might top it up every now and again if there's something in particular that we want to cook.
Yeah, or something on offer or tickles our fancy.
Yeah.
And I watched a video online and it was 2 guys, they were builders and they had £200 cash.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they got it, if it was like fundraising or donation, but it was money they were given to a food bank, and they went to Aldi or Lidl or a place like that, and they had a list. The food bank had sent a list of things in high demand.
Right.
So it was like tinned vegetables, oh my goodness, I can't even remember, UHT milk, like things that can last, and things that don't need to be cooked.
Right.
And they went in and they started like calculating and adding things up, and they were like, let's just guess it, like wing it, and they got to the till and they thought they were going to have to add some more money to it because they'd bought, so they had 3 trolleys full of things on the list. They'd got everything on the list.
Yeah, it was like 200 quid,
and it was £140.
Yeah.
And they were shocked. They were like, we don't realise how far money goes when you need it to go.
That's it. And we've started realising that. We shop so much cheaper now.
Yeah.
Like,
so
we do go to like Aldi and Lidl and stuff, and we're doing like a weekly shop for like 40 quid now.
Yeah. So they went back in and got luxury items for the food bank, like ladies' hygiene products, children's like nappies and things like that. And again, they only spent £40, and they're like, we've got money left again.
Yeah.
So they just gave that to the food bank, and then they realised they'd missed one thing off the list, and it was biscuits. So like, you can buy £20 worth of biscuits. But I just thought it was so nice to see that you can buy so much for your money.
Yeah, of course you can. If you shop around and you do it right, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And from a personal point of view, our food budget is massively, massively reduced.
Oh, yeah.
Especially now that we're on diets and we're thinking about how we're spending.
Because at first I thought being on a diet was more expensive because I thought buying all this fresh meat and fresh vegetables and...
It certainly can be.
Yeah,
and when we
because-
first started, like I said, like we were spending £130.
But we were
like,
throwing away a lot of food.
throwing away lots of food and buying like the most expensive brands and in the most expensive supermarkets.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, really sort of like not thinking about how we were spending that money.
Yeah, and we could still make cutbacks.
Oh, now, yeah, absolutely. We've still
Uh-huh.
got luxuries. Absolutely.
Definitely. Like, we buy nice toilet roll. Like
We
could,
do,
We could
do.
buy not nice toilet roll.
It's because I'm a sensitive soul.
I'm a 3-ply quilted girl,
Absolutely.
and I like it.
I completely agree with
And
you.
we like the laundry pods. Like,
Yeah.
powder is so much cheaper.
Oh,
Bottles
yeah.
of liquid is so much cheaper, but
Yeah.
we like the convenience of the pods.
Yeah, because you just pick it up, put it in,
Mm-hmm.
off you go.
And I do, not research, but I will wait until they're on offer.
Yeah,
We pay 5 pence a load,
yeah,
and we never pay more than that.
No.
We wait till it's on offer.
Yeah.
So even at that, it's more expensive than the powder. I think the powder works out 2.5 pence a load.
yeah. But my dad uses powder, and when I went back to hers, it just annoyed me.
Yeah, you've got sensitive skin as well, haven't you?
Yeah, powders don't really do particularly well.
Hmm.
I've had eczema my entire life, and it's not really done me any good. But yeah, so I mean, we've definitely
So you'd end world hunger.
yeah by buying cheaper. Yeah, with all that money that I earned from being at war.
Oh, we could go into so much about it, couldn't we?
Yeah, well, I don't
Like
know.
veterans, like, and the life they live, and you know they're on the streets, and you know because of war.
Yeah, I mean, like one does become intrinsically linked to the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you hear about all the time of war veterans that come back and they struggle to find jobs.
Mm-hmm.
They struggle to fit back into society.
Mm-hmm.
There's some level of stigma attached and worry.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of the people who are unfortunately living on the streets and not able to fit into society and are suffering with world hunger are the veterans that have come back from conflict. You know, unfortunately, you see a lot of post-traumatic stress and you know, injuries and
addictions and things.
psychological problems and things like that. You know, all comes from being intrinsically linked there.
Like, what I noticed this Christmas was thinking back when you were donating like Christmas gifts and stuff. We used to put them in a shoebox
Yeah.
and send it away to another country for children that you'd never heard of and stuff. But this year, I don't know if it's because I'm an adult and I'm back in the UK and I'm spending Christmas back in the UK, but there was a tree in one of the shopping centres. I was like, what is the word for mall? For a shopping centre. And there was a tree and it had gift tags hanging on it for local families
Yeah.
who were in need.
We had the same in work.
Yeah, we all chipped in and there was a boy, it broke my heart, a 12-year-old boy asked for a warm jacket and toiletries.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, boys at that age, they start to get smelly. Girls at that age, people at that age start to get smelly. You know, their body odours are changing.
Yeah,
and
lots of hormones
time.
and chemical
And imagine being in a
changes going on.
situation where your parents can't buy you deodorant and shower gel.
Yeah.
And it's local families. It's families round the corner.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
Like, we are living in a difficult economic time. Like, not to sort of go into too much personal detail and not to go into a bit of woe is me, but me and you both work full time and we don't have a lot of disposable cash.
No.
We have some luxuries in our life, Like, we live a very comfortable, very privileged life
We do.
with what we've got, but we work hard for that.
Yeah.
We, as I said, we both work full-time jobs on a better wage than most people working just a full-time standard job.
Yeah, we don't get minimum wage.
We both earn comfortably over minimum wage. And I would say that because of how expensive life is,
and what the norm is, like, you're supposed to have unlimited Wi-Fi. Like, you're supposed to have Sky or Virgin TV. Like, these are normal things that you're supposed. These aren't seen as luxuries anymore. You're supposed to have the newest phone, and it's like, these are the social norms, and they're so expensive.
well, this is what I was saying. In my mind, that's luxury. That is luxury. Because when I was growing up, I know it was a different time and all that sort of stuff, but all those things that like everybody had and you were supposed to have, I didn't necessarily have all of those. I had what we could afford, and that was fine.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that we could get, and there were certain things that we couldn't. But me and you, we're at a point where we're like, well, we want that, so we're going to get that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things that like we haven't got. Like, I refuse to pay for Sky Sports packages
Yeah.
because they're too expensive. I don't see the need to
But we have
to afford them.
other Sky Extras.
Yeah.
You know?
Like we've got Sky Cinema and box sets and all that sort of stuff, and that's really good. But we spend a lot of time using that TV, so I don't mind paying for it. But you know, we've got Netflix and Amazon, and we've got all sorts of stuff that, you know, we don't need to pay for, but we do.
Yeah.
And I know what you're saying of like, oh, we're supposed to have that, but we don't have to.
No.
Like, so in my mind, that's a luxury. You know, we recently just got a great car that we pay a lot for every month. We didn't need to do that. We could have got another banger and survived.
Yeah.
But we decided not to. We decided that we're earning enough money and we're able to pay for that every month, so we did it.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know.
I think we live a very, not very luxurious, but we live very comfortable.
Yeah, we've
Very
got everything we need. We don't.
Yeah, I'd love to get a new Hoover. You'd love to get a new mattress, but those are things we'll save up for.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I want a new mattress and I want a really expensive PA system.
And I want a £300 Hoover.
Yeah, and
that's going to stick up all my hair.
And I'd really like a new sofa.
Yeah, a new sofa. So, yeah, our sofa was £100.
£100 from a charity
shop. And it's fine.
It's been great. We've had a year now, maybe more.
Yeah.
It's been amazing, but that's it. I mean, like we've had a lot of hand me over furniture. And we bought things from charity shops and Facebook sites and stuff like that.
The only thing in this house, furniture-wise, that's new is our bed.
Yeah.
Everything else is either given to us from my parents, left here from the owner before, or bought from a second-hand shop.
Yeah.
Or charity shop.
Yeah.
Or from someone on Facebook.
But that's it. But, like, I'm just sort of saying, like, you know, like, I really don't want anyone to rob us, but we've got a decent computer. I've got my PlayStation. We've got a big TV, you know. Like, we've got all these things that are luxuries in my mind.
Definitely.
Like, I've been in situations where I've not earned a particularly large amount of money, and I've lived in a box room with a tiny little telly and no luxuries, just like my clothes and my work clothes, and a tiny little TV and a DVD player that I bought from like 20 quid from Argos. And I've rummaged the bargain bins for a couple of films that I want to watch each night. Yeah. And that's been my life. I've been in that situation and I've been where I am now. And I do count myself very, very lucky. But we both work, like I said, we haven't got a lot of disposable cash. Like, if I said, oh, I want to go and buy this, and this tomorrow, I can't. I need to plan for that.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is that, like, we're in a privileged position because it's just me and you, and we're both working full time.
Yeah.
And look at where we are. 20, 30 years ago, we would have been rich.
Yeah.
2 full-time workers earning well over minimum wage with no dependents.
Yeah.
We'd have a 4-bedroom house.
But I feel that we could have that if we spent our money differently. But we spend our money for us now. Like, we go on holiday every year. We have a nice car. We have the heating on whenever we want. We eat when we want. We go out when we want. We socialise when we want.
No, but this is what I'm saying. 20, 30 years ago, we could have had all that and a lot more.
I think, we could save more if we wanted to.
But then that would be a choice. We'd cut away other things to be able to pay for that. What I'm saying is, 20, 30 years ago, we could have had our cake and eaten it and then saved loads of money and then gone and bought another cake and gone on fucking holiday and bought cake there too.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. We are 2 full-time workers with no dependents. 20, 30 years ago, we'd have a mansion, we'd have a fucking amazing car that we would have bought outright. We'd be putting money away because we wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, we're in a very different position now than we would have been 20, 30 years ago in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's another thing that I told you about last week, and it was about food donations again. I think just the time of the year, it's everywhere. It's like people are not afraid to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
And it was talking about food banks and why they don't want raw vegetables that you can't eat raw.
Yeah.
Like, carrots are fine. You can eat raw carrot.
Yeah.
Carrot sticks, But like a turnip, they don't want that because to boil a turnip, like, people who need food banks don't have the money to boil something for half an hour.
No,
or to put the oven on for half an hour.
It's utilities. It costs money. It costs water, electricity, gas, however, whatever you're going to use.
And that was an eye-opener to me.
Yeah.
Like, obviously they can't afford to have their oven preheating for half an hour and then cook a chicken for half an hour to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, they can't afford to put their heating on.
Yeah.
They can't afford to buy food. And, we preheat our oven for half an hour before we put food in it.
Yeah, I did it today.
And not being, like, that is a privileged choice that we make to do.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a big eye-opener for me.
Of course it is.
Like, that people need food banks and stuff like that, but see the reality, like, the details of it.
Yeah.
It is heartbreaking.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like the poverty line is terrifying in this country now. And it's that thing of the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. But it's not just the poor getting poorer; it's what you have to do to not be poor now. Like if you're one person working a full-time job, you're not going to be able to support a family.
Well, there's like single parents.
Yeah.
Who work full-time.
Yeah.
And they find a way to support it. It's like you live within your means, you try to. So they don't go out and socialise whenever they want.
No.
Their socialising is going round to their mum's house for a meal or...
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. You find a way.
Of course.
I think if you've got a family, you do. Like, obviously,
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But, like, this weekend, I'm going out for lunch Saturday and Sunday.
Where are you going Saturday, please?
I'm going out with Nicola.
How are you? Where are you going?
Silverburn.
Nice. And then Sunday we're going on a little jaunt to Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm. So if you think about that, like, how much am I going to spend that weekend? £100?
I don't know. I'm going to try and get Alan to pay for lunch. No, just joking. But yeah, we're going to spend money because it's going to be fuel costs to go to Edinburgh on a little jaunt on a Sunday. You know what I mean? That's the thing that we're privileged to be able to do.
Yeah.
Like
parking, food, drinks, coffee.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time that I've been ranting on about the fact that we both work full time and we don't have a lot of disposable cash, at the same time, I know exactly how privileged we are. Mm-hmm. I have been on all ends of the scale.
I remember when we first came home from working abroad and we had, was it before the wedding or after wedding? We were saving for the wedding or had just paid for the wedding. It was round about that time.
Yeah.
We were staying with my parents.
Yeah.
The bed had broke, so you're on a mattress on the floor,
Yeah.
and I was on a sofa bed.
Yep.
And we had no jobs.
No.
As of yet, and we didn't have many savings because of the wedding.
Yeah, that was it. Like, that
And-
was one thing that, in hindsight, maybe we should have thought about a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But all the money that we would have had saved went on having an incredible wedding, which I loved, and I wouldn't take it back. But I don't know.
Yeah, and I remember I was standing in Sainsbury's, and there was 20% off all their clothes, and there was a dress, and it was like £4.43 for this dress,
Yeah.
and I had a fiver to my name, and I remember thinking, like, I can't buy this dress, and that feeling was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, we really struggled when we first came back. Because I've been self-employed for 10 years. Near enough. As a fucking musician, I was qualified to do nothing. And nobody wanted to employ me. And I struggled. I struggled to get what was essentially, contractually, a part-time job in Tesco down the road.
Yeah.
I struggled to get that job. And I am very conscious of how lucky I am now to be where I am.
Yeah.
Like, working full-time for a bank
Yeah.
with the security that comes with that.
And the benefits that you get.
And all the benefits that I get, and the fact that I'm salaried is amazing. But yeah, like, but I'm talking about, like, before I met you, before I started travelling, there was a time where I was living in North Wales where I lived in poverty. Genuine, actual poverty.
Wow.
Like, I lived in a flat that cost me £30 a week. Because that was all I could afford. Because I was a part-time fucking barman. And I couldn't afford any more rent than £30 a week. And I lived in a building with drug dealers and drunkards. And I'd come home at 2, 3 in the morning. I lived on the top floor. And I'd have to walk through all of that bullshit. And I hated it. And I lived in a box in the back of the top flat. I hated it. It was awful. I have lived on all ends of that scale. Where when I was travelling, I was earning more money than I knew what to do with.
Yeah.
Like, before I met you, when I was working cruise ships, I earned double that on my own.
No dig money, no
Nothing.
food.
Nothing. Didn't pay for anything. Came home and had a fucking riot for 3 months. Bought myself expensive clothes and looked like an absolute don for 3 months. And it was great.
Yeah, you had nice glasses, nice watches.
I had nice everything, and I felt great about myself. And so I've been right up there where genuinely I've had more money.
You didn't have to check your bank account. Like.
Nope, never did. Never did. Apart from like the last couple of weeks, and I'd be like, maybe I'll just stay in a bit. For the last couple of weeks, I just spent some time with my family, just chill out. Not really do anything crazy.
You knew you were guaranteed a wage the following month or
That
whatever.
was it. I knew exactly when I was going back.
Yeah.
And I was going to earn loads of money again and do exactly the same after the next 6-7 months.
Yeah, it's a cycle, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, I've been all ends of that scale, and I know where I'd rather be now. But this is probably the best
All-rounder.
best position I've been in. Because it's steady, it's secure, it's
Yeah, it's not seasonal.
It's not seasonal. It's not all and then nothing. And yeah, this is, you know, like the most comfortable, most wonderful position I've been in. And I do look at us and I do think, yeah, we are lucky. We have aspirations, but that's because everybody fucking has aspirations in their life.
I think we're both very hard workers, though.
I think we both got work ethic. We hate not doing anything. We hate being idle. Like, I'm a bit of a weirdo of, like, I convince myself that I like being idle, and then do that for 2 days and then hate my life. Yeah. So this is why my job works as well, because I work long shifts. I work 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And in those 2 days a week that I have nothing to do...
3 days. 3 days?
No, because I have 1 day with you.
Oh.
So I have 2 days a week to myself, where you're working, and I am left to my own devices. By the end of those 2 days, I'm ready to go back to work.
Yeah.
Because by the end of that day on Thursday, I've done all the things that I wanted to do. I've chilled out as much as I can. Very rarely I'm like, oh, wish I had another day off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually ready to go back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's kind of turned into a bit of an impromptu musing.
It has, yeah.
So
that was the best Would You Rather ever.
Yeah, so you have set the bar on Would You Rather now, haven't you? Thanks very much for listening, everybody. We did have other segments that we were going to cover, but hey, we'll just revisit them at a later time. We had some history stuff, like Concorde launched this week, which was kind of cool.
Woo!
I remember. There was loads of technological ones, which I'm just going to throw in there really quickly. So this week was like the launch of the Rubik's Cube, and Lego was patented. And apparently that's never changed its design. So if you had a Lego from 1950s, you had a Lego now, those motherfuckers would fit together.
Whoa!
So, I mean, that's cool as fuck. And on January 20th is the day that most American presidents are inaugurated, just so you know. So that's covering that history shit quickly. But thanks very much for listening, guys. I'm really sick. I'm going to stop croaking at you now. Carol really appreciates everything that we've talked about. Appreciates everybody listening. So thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you soon.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.